Hello, everybody. I hope everybody is doing well. So, I just wanted to get on here and talk about what the Lord is doing for me right now, which also covers the Bible study. Um, when I had mentioned in my last video when I talked about flooded, um, that I had started going back to church since fall, and it took me a while to get back because of certain reasons. One being childcare, the other one being that um, I hit a deer with my car, and then the baby getting sick for 2 weeks, and then everybody getting COVID in the house, like a domino effect. It was insane. And I really, really struggled with COVID. I was extremely sick out of anyone in this house. I was the sickest the longest. I was absolutely miserable. And as a mother, you don't get days off. Especially if you are a one income household. I'm a stay-at-home mother, so I do not work. But so like, you know, hubby couldn't stay home and be here to take care of me and the kids. Like he had to go work to provide. Sorry if there's a glare. My glasses from is reflecting the window and everything. Um, but so in that time, I wasn't as active in worshiping, okay? And when it comes to Bible studies and stuff like this, I feel like God speaks to me through other people and through my church to make these decisions so that it corresponds back to me. And this flooded really hits hard sometimes because it talks about, what are some hard times and doubtful times and times that you may have had a hard time trusting in God. And there's questions in here like, hang on, I just saw it the other day. Actually, it was yesterday. Like, here's one. It says, think of a time when you felt God leading you to do something that sounded pretty senseless. And you're supposed to write that experience below. And what was the ultimate result of your obedience? And I left it blank. Not because I didn't want to answer it, but because the only really hard parts of my life would be, my childhood. I had parents that just shouldn't be parents. Um, and, you know, the Lord removes people out of your life because, and I believe this, me and my biological mother, we don't have a connection and we never have. And she let men do terrible things to me, and she wasn't that great either. And honestly, if it was not for my grandparents to stick by, I wouldn't even be alive right now to tell you this. You wouldn't be able to even know who I am. That's the sad part. And so I truly believe that even through the pain and stuff, it's not that I ever doubted God, but as a kid, I probably was like so confused because the child mind does not work like the adult mind, like a mature young adult either. The child mind feels like, oh, it's my fault that all of this is happening. It's my fault. I'm not lovable. Nobody loves me, and that's my fault. Um, I wouldn't be getting hit and mistreated and abused multiple times if it wasn't my fault. And that's how the child mind works. I'm gonna try not to get emotional. So I had to take off my glasses. My nose is always the first thing to run. Should have grabbed some tissues. Didn't know this was gonna get emotional. Um, and back early 90s, grandparents did not have legal rights to adopt you or take you in if you had abusive parents. They didn't have those rights back then. So that's really tough. So to this day, I don't even call her my mother. I stopped calling her my mother. And honestly, I stopped praying for her. And if I do pray for her, and when I do pray for her, it's not to fix us. It's so that the Lord works on her salvation, on her. Because I truly believe that God will take people out of your life or will steer you away from those people because He saw things that you didn't and that He heard things that you didn't, that people were saying behind your back or acting. So I'm so sorry. I just keep. So I mean, there's that. Okay. So that's why that's blank because honestly, there's not enough room on this page. So I'm just leaving it to God because He knows. He knows. And He's known for years. He's known for years. But also too, like this study is hardcore about your faith and where your faith is in this journey, in your spiritual journey. This is where your faith is and how you're building your faith. And, you know, it's amazing. And the one thing I got is what you listen to often becomes the household you live in. What you listen to often becomes the household you live in. That's one thing she said in this. And then she said, like, and that was in the book. So when, not in the Bible study, but it was written in her book. And then she goes to saying that she became so full of discouragement after that one comment that she typed in her book. But, you know, she knew in order to press on faith and finish teaching the students, she would have to silence that commitment. And then, you know, saying, I don't want to live in a house of doubt built by someone else. It's incredibly important as we build this house of faith in our lives that we stop listening to the doubt that is trying to destroy all of God's goodness. Because I could have easily took all that pain, hurt, suffering, and be like, God, you let this happen to me. I am an innocent child, pure child, and you're letting this happen to me. You're hurting your child. You're letting other people destroy me. I could have easily said that and be like, where is your goodness? I'd be lost. I never once, ever said any of that stuff. I may have said, why me? I know I've definitely said, why were I given parents like this? Why is this the family of cards I was dealt with? Why? I have definitely said that. I have said that a million times. I can't even tell you how many times I've said that. Because it's not only my mother and all the men that she was with that betrayed me. There's other people that are in the family that also too have jealousy issues, envy issues. I don't know what their problem is with me because we never had that connection. But I will tell you what, I took all of that because I made a promise when I was a teenager that I would never live the life that I was brought up in. I would never treat my kids the way that I was treated. And I would never, ever let anybody hurt my kids because it's wrong. There's wrong and there's disgust and there's just evil. And sometimes you're brought up in evil family, okay? But you have to pray about it. And also, too, I honestly believe that the Lord put me in a lot of obstacles growing up. Nothing was ever easy. Nothing was ever easy. Not even when it was time for me to find out who I am and find out my voice and what I am and who makes me who I am. It took a long, long time. It took me till I was in my mid-20s, even late 20s, to figure it out before I got to 30. And I'm 31. And I can honestly say that it took me a long time, and God had to show me and put me in those obstacles, not because He was punishing me, because He was teaching me things. And it took a while for me to sit back and look and say, God, you were working. You kept me alive. And all those things that I thought were hard and all that doubt that built up, that's what made me the strongest woman I am to this day. And it is the reason why I have faith, big faith. And last Wednesday, got to go to church. I love Wednesday night when I get together with women because I've always said this. I've said this to friends and family. I have said this at actual church in front of people. I think I say this every single time I have a Bible study, and I will continue to say it. But when you get a group of women together in a room to worship, things happen. God's working. And let me tell you what. Working. And got these tiny little mustard seeds. Let me get way up there. You see that? That is an actual mustard seed. And when you have your great days and your spiritual growth is great, you have a million mountains of mustard seeds. But in those hard, doubtful times, that is the amount of faith you need right there in those hard days. So you need to remind yourself that all you need is that size of a mustard seed of faith, and God will lead you. He has His hands working in you. There is nothing impossible because He has you and He's listening. And when we listen, we get further with Him. Trust me. You know, we're amazed at how specific God was with the instructions for Noah in Genesis, where He's telling Noah how to build the ark and tells him the measurements and how the deck was on the ark to be and all this stuff. And but what if Noah had decided he didn't really like these instructions and wanted to figure out a better way to do this? But, we're studying more of these instructions this past week and in week 2 of this study. And when we get to Genesis 6:22, the ultimate result was Noah did this. He did everything God had commanded him. And that's a lot, because God just comes to Noah. He's the only pure, faithful man on the face of the earth, the only man that God trusts. And he was a farmer, so he had to learn. And I'm pretty sure God helped him along the way, had to have the knowledge, had to gift him with the wisdom to take all of the instructions. So when I'm thinking about all this pain and suffering I had, and maybe a little bit of doubt here and there, I think of the instructions that God gave me. Have faith in Him, because that was literally my walk with Him growing up. Is I had to have faith that God was going to carry me through, that I'm not going down. I'm not going down without a fight, maybe a spiritual fight. But He did give me a backbone too. I will say I stopped wearing my wishbone where my backbone ought to be. Let's just say that. But He is good, and you can feel His work, and then you can see that He's working. And there's just so much. And even when I'm doing my Bible study, writing my sermon notes down in my Bible, I'm listening to Christian songs. And I just want to share a couple that I really, really like. I just heard and saw Katie Nicole's single "In Jesus' Name." Looks like, whoa, hold on. Looks like that. I hope you can see it. But anyways, her music video is amazing. And I bawled. Cried my eyes out. Promises by Maverick City Music is one of my ultimate favorites right now too. That is a good one. And also from Evolution Worship, say the song Same God. We actually sang that in church, and when I heard that in church for the first time, I was like, I'm getting that on my phone. I'm downloading it on iTunes, and I'm having that one for sure. So that's just a few of songs that really shout to me through all of this. So, but yeah, all you have to do is have faith the size of a mustard seed. And, our quote, last week, our quote last week was from Matthew 17:20. He said to them, "Because of your little faith, for truly I say to you, if you have faith like a grain of mustard seed, you will say to this mountain, 'Move from here to there,' and it will move, and nothing will be impossible for you." And then this month, our Bible verse that we're remembering from Romans 10:17 is, "So faith comes from hearing, and hearing through the word of Christ." And I almost remembered that whole thing without looking so many times, but that was Romans 10:17. So faith comes from hearing, and hearing comes through the word of Jesus Christ. Romans 10:17. Oh, I'm so getting good at it. Okay. But anyways, so yeah, that's just what I wanted to share. I wanted to share a little piece of digging more into this study, how God has worked for me in this study, and he pulls at the pieces of me that I still have to work on and that he is working on too, and that he's not letting me forget. Like, I got you. You're in my hands. I have my hands in you, around you, on your shoulder, and I got you. He's got me. I'm his daughter, and he's not gonna just leave me. I'm not gonna ever be alone. And Jesus will be with me too. But I had to also show that, um, and show you a few songs, because the songs in this Bible study, they just move and they just wrap it. It's like it lassos around you, just like, okay, we're tying this all together. These songs are coming together. This Bible study came to you for a reason, and this is what we're doing. This is also God's way of speaking to me. So, because he knows I'm very stubborn, but he knows how I can receive the word that he's trying to get to me, even in those hard days. So, friends, I hope you enjoyed this video. Um, and like I said, I do highly request the book and the Bible study for Flooded. It's great. I cannot wait to meet this author. I'm pretty sure we're meeting this author this fall, so I'll get to also meet this author, take a picture with her, and have her sign my book, which I am so thrilled about. But anyways, I'm gonna hop off of here. Have a wonderful day, and I love you guys, and bye.